Okay, I think we can start, and then of course we can maybe just do a short recap for those who connected later. So good morning everyone again, and welcome to the second day of the European Rural Mobility Network first online meeting. I'm Andrea Lorenzini, transport consultant at MEMEX and technical coordinator of the SMARTA-NET project, and I am delighted to welcome to this second day. For those who maybe are connected for the first time because didn't have the chance to join our event yesterday, maybe just a very short recap of why we are here. So this event is bringing together for the first time these members, or actually the future members of the European Rural Mobility Network, which is a network that is being set up by the SMARTA-NET project that will consist primarily of rural municipalities and rural region representatives. But of course, that is also welcome practitioners, stakeholders, local action group, leader group, and so forth and so on, that are active and interested in the domain of rural mobility. So this is the first of a series of events that will be carrying out over the course of this year and next year. There will be another event in October, additional webinars towards the end of this year and beginning of next year, another in-person event towards spring of next year, and the final conference toward the end of 2024. So yesterday, we tried to basically present you the framework of this project, and I think I can now start to share my presentation because I put on one slide that maybe it's a good recap for ourselves. And before to that, for those who again connected for the first time, some housekeeping rule. This meeting is being recorded. If you have any problems with that, please contact Anita in the chat. You can keep your microphone muted, but your camera is much more welcome to be open so that we can try to be more similar to a physical or in-person event rather than on a digital one. And this is an event that is actually for you. So feel free to intervene, to ask questions, to comment, both through the chat or also by raising your hand and trying to pose questions to our speaker. And again, very shortly, what is the SMARTA-NET project about? We are establishing this network of 70+ rural municipalities from 15 European countries, along with multipliers, local action group, regional authorities, and so forth and so on. We will develop a number of guidelines on a number of topics, such as good practice, mobility, supporting rural tourism, extension of SUMP, and so forth. And yesterday, you have heard about that from our guideline representative. Of course, the presentation of yesterday will also be shared afterwards and put on our website. And the last part is the implementation of training and capacity building on the guideline in each of the member countries. We're doing that with a number of lighthouse sites that are shown into this picture. And this is just to let you know that there is some alliance that you can find in your country. So please take note about that, because they will be supporting us in the delivery of the training and in the sharing of the knowledge of the SMARTA-NET.
Andrea, you need to unmute yourself because I muted everyone, sorry.
Okay, so what is the agenda for today? We are basically addressing two main sessions. The first is a workshop session, breakout session, in which we will split into 3 different groups. Then we will have a coffee break from 11:15 until 11:30. And in the second part, we will have again an interactive session, but facilitated by our panelists. And I would say a few words about that. We will close the meeting around 1 o'clock. So workshop, in about 5 minutes, we will split into these 3 workshop sessions. The first one is the one on local shared mobility solution. It will be facilitated by Eleonora Ercoli from MEMEX. The second one will be a workshop on sustainable tourism and mobility, facilitated by the NIT, especially Wolfgang Gunter. And the third one will be on mobility policies and plans, and will be facilitated by Tish, our colleagues at Tish and Pantea, Andre and Hirt. Each workshop is expected to last about 1 hour and 30 minutes, and there will be a mix of, presentation, discussion, open question, and so forth and so on. And again, for those who did not have a chance to see the details, very shortly, this is the first workshop on local shared mobility solution. Our guest speaker will be Declan Rice from Kilkenny Leader Partnership, Philip Schlemmer from RMO in Austria, Karl Lines from the district of Kusel, and Martin Kunz from the Groningen-Drenthe province, and each will share some experience on different mobility solutions. The second workshop will be on sustainable tourism and mobility. So there will be a sort of discussion about the most common challenges that rural regions are facing with regard to sustainable tourism mobility, and there will be some expanding example of possible mobility solutions addressing the needs of both residents and tourists. And the speakers for that will be our colleagues at NET, so Bente Grimm and Rieka Olsen. The last workshop will be on mobility policies and plans, and we'll try to address this concept of sustainable urban mobility plan and how this could be extended to incorporate aspects of rural mobility. And that would also be part of the what we call evaluation. So how we can analyze and collect data that are needed for the planning of urban and rural transport. And there will be 4 main speakers: Catriona Corr from Kilkenny County Council, Tiago from Tish, Hirt from Pantea, and Hab Heise, I don't know if I correctly pronounced it, from KU Leuven. So this is in a nutshell the framework of the 3 workshops. And after that, at 11:15, there will be the coffee break. So you can take your cup of coffee and make some further reflection. And afterwards, we will be guided into a panel discussion. So we have very good panelists for that are Brennan, our project manager, senior transport consultant, Alexandra Correa from ADAL, so the Alentejo Regional Development Agency from Portugal, Mercedes Munoz Zamora, that is the director at European Greenways Association, and then Antonio Lopez de Avila, he's global manager for tourism and rural development at UNWTO. So this discussion will be facilitated by Edina, by the E40 team, and we'll be, on the one hand, try to make some, reflection on the results of each breakout session, but also try to discuss on the theme, what can this project, what can the SMARTA network do to address rural mobility challenges at all levels? So at the local level, at the planning level, at the operational level, at the interlinks between urban and rural areas, at the tourism level and rural development side. So this was, in a nutshell, a short introduction for this morning. And with no further doubt, I think we can move quickly to the workshop session. For that, you have already indicated your preference, but actually you can make also some changes for that, because you can also select that into the breakout rooms now. So I will now hand over to Anita, that will share some additional information about the workshop session, and then we can start our discussion.